I'm Kelsey Miner. You're watching News 12 The Bronx. Turning now to a developing story out of Fordham where a train struck a bicycle this morning. Trapper 12 was overhead as the incident unfolded. And News 12 The Bronx reporter Ray Raimondi is in Fordham right now. Ray, what's the latest?
Kelsey, I could tell you for now, that's the very latest here from the Metro North station on Fordham Road. Kelsey, we'll send it right back to you.
All right, Ray, thank you so much. Moving on here, a foul odor led residents at Marcy Place to a sad discovery. Now the question is, why didn't officials respond sooner? News 12 The Bronx reporter Vanessa Freeman has the story you'll see first on 12. All right, Vanessa, thank you. Right now, our Bronx woman, Cynthia Oliver, is facing assault charges after her two pit bulls mauled a man in the middle of the street. The incident was captured on surveillance video. We've blurred some of that because it's difficult to watch. Several passersby sprayed the animals with water, trying to stop them. The man, who has been identified as Francesco Bove, is now in stable condition in the hospital.
I feel bad about the dog because they're going to kill them. But I don't feel bad about the people that train them. If you own a dog, you got to take care of them. Feed them and train them, otherwise you cannot have it.
The two pit bulls are now in the custody of animal control. In news overseas, at least 12 people are dead, another 10 injured after Egyptian troops mistakenly opened fire on a group of tourists. Officials say at least 2 of those who died were Mexican citizens. 2 of the 7 Mexicans receiving treatment also hold American citizenship. Authorities say the tourist convoy was in a restricted area in the desert. We're following developing news out of Mississippi right now. At least 1 person is dead following a shooting on this Delta State University campus. That person is believed to be a professor. A lockdown was enacted around noon with students and staff advised to take shelter. About 3,500 students attend the university. We're working to get more information on this story and we'll bring you any extra details as we get them. 12 is on health now, and a new study in the Journal of Pediatrics finding tricycles are more dangerous than you think. The study saying tricycle injuries send thousands of kids to the emergency room each year and have been linked to a handful of deaths. The reports say most kids don't have the necessary balance or coordination that is, for riding a tricycle until age 3. I'm Kelsey Miner, and you're watching News 12 The Bronx. We're as local news gets. Still to come, the clock is ticking. The next Republican presidential debate is just 2 days away, and 2 candidates are well ahead of their competition. The latest in the race for the White House, that's ahead. Plus, he wasn't kidding. He will be back. The Terminator has a new gig on TV. I'm Kelsey Miner. Here's what's happening right now on News 12 Brooklyn. Is City Bike hurting businesses? Some people in Williamsburg think so. We'll tell you why. Plus, a fire breaks out in Brownsville, and neighbors say this isn't the first time it's happened.
As local news gets. News 12 Brooklyn.
And thanks for joining us on this Monday afternoon. A bike sharing station in Williamsburg has businesses owners pulling their hair out in frustration. News 12 Brooklyn's Nicole Ryan tells us why they are giving the city an earful about the Graham Avenue location. All right, Nicole, thank you. Weather anchor Daryl Green is standing by with your weather on the 2s, and it's picture perfect for bike riding.
Beautiful day for any type of outdoor activity.
Several homes in Brownsville are damaged after a fire breaks out in a laundromat for the 2nd time in less than a week. Witnesses say this fire started around 6:15 this morning and spread throughout the rest of the building. They also tell News 12 that a fire started inside of the very same laundromat this past Saturday. The families who live above the business say they had to escape through the roof and into their next-door neighbor apartment because there was no fire escape. Those 2 families say they will get help from the Red Cross and live in temporary shelters until their homes are repaired.
Yeah, we might stay there for a few nights and then we'll come back in here. Probably the hotel. Usually when the fire happens, they give the hotel over there to stay. So we stay there for a few nights and then come back here again.
No word on what caused the fire. Neighbors say the laundromat has a history of fires, several even under previous owners. Now to the race for the White House. Just 3 days into the Republican presidential candidates take center stage in their latest debate, and a new poll out this morning has two Washington outsiders well ahead of the pack. Donald Trump remains on top with 33% of the vote in the Washington Post ABC News poll. Ben Carson is polling at 20%. Those two alone take up more than half of the vote. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton continues to see her lead shrink. She came out with 42% of the vote, but take a look at second and third place, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and Vice President Joe Biden, who's not even in the race, in a statistical tie. I'm Kelsey Minor. More of your hyper-local headlines are just 2 minutes away. Plus, History Comes to Brooklyn will take you to an exhibit that celebrates an 800-year-old agreement. This is News 12 Brooklyn, as local news gets. We're back with a developing story this afternoon on 12. A college professor is dead after a shooting at Delta State University in Mississippi. We're learning the campus is still on lockdown and the shooter is still on the loose, but is not believed to be on campus. Police have identified Shannon Lamb, a school employee, as a person of interest. Investigators also say Lamb may have been involved in another slaying in South Mississippi. We're learning the victim has been identified as Ethan Schmidt. He worked in the history department. Police say he was killed in his office earlier this morning. Be sure to stay with us here on News 12 for the latest developments. Now some news out of Kentucky. The county clerk who spent time in jail for not issuing marriage licenses to gay couples is back at work today. Kim Davis was held in contempt after she ignored a court order to comply with a recent Supreme Court ruling. She says she will not interfere with her deputies issuing marriage licenses, but she says she is not authorizing them and questions whether they are valid. She choked up as she spoke today, saying she was torn between obeying her God and following the judge's orders.
And so this morning, I am forced to fashion a remedy that reconciles my conscience with Judge Bunning's orders, effective immediately, and until an accommodation is provided by those with the authority to provide it, any marriage license issued by my office will not be issued or authorized by me.
Well, Davis is asking for an accommodation specifically for a judge or Kentucky's governor to authorize the licenses, which would not violate her religious beliefs. More news out of Kentucky now. This footage from this morning. Traffic caused a manhunt for a suspect who fatally shot a state trooper late last night. Police shot and killed the alleged shooter hours after the death of 31-year-old trooper Joseph Cameron Ponder. Officials say Ponder was conducting a traffic stop when the driver fled. Ponder pursued the driver until the car stopped. Police say the driver fired shots into the trooper's car and then fled on foot. The alleged gunman was shot and killed hours later. A World Trade Center security guard is arrested after being accused of stabbing a man outside of McDonald's this morning around 4 o'clock. Police say the on-duty guard got into an argument with the 20-year-old victim inside the store, then stepped outside. The man was treated at the nearby hospital, and his injuries are not believed to be serious. Now to the NFL. Having the title of America's team also means big bucks. The Dallas Cowboys are the first National Football League team to be valued at $4 billion. That makes it the richest sports franchise in the world. The value of the Cowboys is more than double of what the average pro football team is worth. The NFL is the most profitable professional sports league, collecting $12 billion in revenue last year. Let's bring in weather anchor Daryl Green, who has a $4 billion forecast.
I tell you, we've got several days of